So, good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's broadcast, which almost didn't happen because I forgot to press the go live button. Tonight, we have Anita from Sydney, Orla from New Zealand, Sonia from Hong Kong, who are the three masterminds behind Exploring Intuitive Pathways. Yes, I'm being very kind.
Very generous.
Very generous.
Extremely.
So basically, I'm going to put a question up because tonight we're talking about communities of light. So I'm going to put a question up. What do you understand a community of light is? And the four of us are going to start, first of all, on one topic, and then we're going to move to another. But I don't want to tell you too much because it'll be a spoiler alert. So any of you that happen to be there that are interested, and you'd like to answer, please do so. We've got two people that are saying hello, and at the moment we haven't got anybody talking to us, so we'll just talk amongst ourselves. So how do the three of you see a community of light? What do you understand a community of light to be?
That it's, I wouldn't say a group, let's say a team of people who are willing to collaborate and who are willing to explore beyond personality. So we're willing to explore what's possible, but ultimately that it's about the highest good of everybody. So it's really about the whole, not about the individual within the whole.
Okay, thank you. Sonia?
For me, it's not a place where you convert others, that you must do this or do that. That's not the place of political correctness. It's not like if I have to convert someone to do what I believe in, then for me, it's not a community of light. It's a place of acceptance, yeah.
Okay. Anita?
For me, a community of light is people who have like a common way of being, as in they treat others how they want to be treated. They want to be of benefit to all, not just themselves. And people who just accept each other as they are for how they are and operate from a way that doesn't cause others harm in it, whatever it is, whoever it is they are and however it is they are, they have that modus operandi kind of working through always.
Okay, well, I've got to remember how to get rid of these banners. Just get rid of that one because somebody's actually answered the question. Haresh has said, an awareness of connection and collaboration that comes from the heart, light and sharing brings everyone together and accepts differences and finds common ground. Very true. I would agree with that. That's basically what you three said. You were just a bit more long-winded about it, weren't you?
That's
nice. Well, aren't we always?
Yeah. So now I'm going to give you, because we've only had one definition, 4 definitions with you three, but we don't count you three. We've only had one definition, and it's a good one. So we don't care whether anybody else gives us a definition.
Yeah, we're on with that. Sold.
That's what a true community is like. We've got one. Everybody else, we don't want to know.
Yeah.
You do. Please continue to tell us what you understand the community to be. But I'm now going to tell you what John said. His definition: communities of light are places for those who share a particular frequency or those who are aspiring to share a particular frequency. So he's not been specific because there are lots of different communities of light.
Yeah.
However, I do think that the qualities that Haresh mentioned, you would need in any community of light.
Mm.
Mm.
Is it important? Is it important to create a community of light? Is it necessary?
Oh, I would say in this day and age, yes, it's important because they're almost, well, no, not even almost, they're the complete opposite of how life is being lived at the moment. in terms of there's so much self-focus and self-centeredness. People are very focused on their wants and their needs, and that means that when you're looking at yourself first, you're not looking outside. And I think the fact that if you're not looking outside yourself, there's no community, let alone a community of light. So I feel they are really important because they offer a different way of being that benefits others instead of benefiting yourself and yourself only. Yeah.
What Caroline says is intent to work together with others to explore something with no idea where that exploration is going to take you.
Yeah.
And that's true. Because if you think about the JTB community, we never know from one month to the next what John's going to talk about. We've got no idea where he's going to take us on the journey for that particular month. Does it stop us? No.
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 Yeah.
Do we say, excuse me, John, what time is this? Where do we start? And where do we end up? No. Because we know, and I think this is the thing, because it's been, and he's been around for a while now, people know who he is, and they know the caliber of what it is he would share.
Yeah.
So there's a trust, and in a community of light, there has to be trust.
Yeah.
Yes.
First of all, trust in spirit, and then secondly, trust in self, and finally, trust in each other. Because once trust's gone, you don't have a community. You've got a fractured group. Okay, well, I've got another question for you. How could you collaborate with a community of light? Do we need to? Haresh has mentioned collaboration. Caroline's implied it. Is collaboration important?
I would say 100%. I was saying before, like the fire brigade is a community. There's a local one, there's a country one, and there's a global fire brigade community. If their intent isn't aligned to be putting out fires and helping people, not be in really big trouble, and you've got half of them wanting to start fires and you've got another half wanting to put out fires, it's not going to work.
No.
So if you want to join a community, there'd have to be some sort of an alignment to what the community is aiming to achieve, or else you're just not going to work.
And it's interesting because all of those, local, national, global, share a common philosophy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter your race, your colour, your creed. You're a fireman, and most fire departments fight fires in similar ways because they've all done the training and the study. So it's a unifying principle, isn't it?
Yeah, and on top of that, they help each other. Like we had when we had them here, countries will send in their off-season each other's brigades over to assist, and that to me is an epic example of a community of light.
It's interesting because Olive said that communities of light let individuality shine.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the firefighting example, they all serve a common purpose.
Yeah.
But they all have different strengths, so they're put on different tasks within the brigade because of that.
Yeah.
Karen said a community of people who come together for a common pursuit supporting growth and evolution. Yeah, that's good. They are the only way that humanity can move towards the future that we all long for. I don't know who said that because it's Facebook user, but I'm just going to get rid of my question, and I'm going to come back to that in a minute because I'm going to hand it over to the three ladies in a minute. Anam said being aligned to the mission, but what is the mission? So I presume what Anam's saying is each community of light has its own mission. And it does. There is a purpose there. Whether they promote it and shout it from the rooftops or not, there's got to be a mission, otherwise there's no way they can work together. Haresh has said collaboration is super important today because things are so polarized globally. Absolutely. We have one country that is divided halfway in the middle and another that is an autocracy, and many others who are wondering what's the model to move forward with. It's creating psychic tsunamis. I love that. Psychic tsunamis. Well done, Haresh. I like that comment. Psychic tsunamis. And I think we've got more and more a global community that's lost sight of itself. Okay, I'm going to give you another quote from John, which ties in with that other one. The biggest community of light is mankind. It used to be called humanity until it forgot itself. It still has a role to play, a significant role to play. However, first of all, it needs to find itself, which absolutely is what is echoed in that one.
Yeah.
It's got to find itself by creating its community.
Yeah.
Stop judging each other and start collaborating together.
Yeah, it's like you said many times before, stop looking at what's wrong with it and start focusing on what's right and what's possible, and well, not right, but what's possible and what can be built on, instead of the age-old, well, you're wrong and I'm right and that's all that matters. Like, it's not a huge shift. It's actually a little shift, but it'll have a huge outcome.
Yeah. For me, a community of light, first of all, is a place of welcome and acceptance. It's a place where we can trust that we're going to be safe, we're going to be respected, and we're going to be heard. But equally, it's a place for us to offer safety, to offer respect, and to offer a listening ear to others in that community.
Yeah.
And when we do that, everybody benefits. So here's a piece on what Suresh said. I think a great example of collaboration is a conversation we had on where Black Lives Matter was mentioned. Yes, people shared with openness and didn't trash each other. Well, Haresh, if they'd have trashed each other, I would have had to just do something terrible to them. So it was a good job they didn't. It was a perfect example of how to invite collaboration, and we all enjoyed it and we all benefited from it. So I think that's great. Thank you. So I'm now going to share the last piece from John, and then it will allow me to segue. It's a good word, that, isn't it? I hope you know what it means, because I don't. Some of you are studying with the channel and the toning, and in fact, as a consequence, you have formed a community of light. However, your community of light is limited to your willingness to explore.
Yeah.
It's easy to get comfortable. And so it's important to feel that we have a safe place to explore. I'm now going to hand over, well, a little bit, not a lot. I'm now going to hand over to Anita, Orla, and Sonia, because as most of you know, they are now, as I said at the beginning, the masterminds behind, they inherited it and now they've got to fix it, behind the Exploring Intuitive Pathways, and what they're about to do going forward. So, ladies, whoever would like to take the conversation, go for it.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So we've created the Haven, and it's a space where people can take the time literally just to explore themselves in a safe space, exactly like Helen said, where outside of everything that's going on in the world, where sometimes you don't know whether you're Arthur or Martha, you can come on in and explore your purpose and explore the same with others. And won't be anybody clubbing you over the head or telling you what you should think or shouldn't think or how you should do something. So we're looking to expand that and create that space as a haven for those who are interested in acceptance and having discussions and accepting others and not going to war, really.
So how do
Say again?
they find the haven? Where is it?
So the Haven was what began as the membership site, and the membership site began, as you know well, Helen, as a repository for the work that you have created over all those years. So when we kind of were offered that opportunity, that's where it started. But then through our exploration and over the last several months, it's taken on a life of its own, and we eventually got to the point where we realized, understood that it's its own energy in itself, and that so it was no longer the membership site, it was more than that. It had become this haven, and in connecting to the energy of it, it became really clear that, oh, this already exists, and we would like to invite people into it. Like it was a kind of a switcheroo. We went from what can we do here, what could we do to, oh no, it's already here. And to be able to invite people into it would be fantastic. And as Anita was saying, in a way, to a place that's just where you can relax, for starters, where you can take an out breath, where you can explore as you wish, as you want, if you want, and also where, if you want, you can join in some get-togethers we're planning and putting together. And again, it's just about sharing and exploring, and no one's going to say you're right and no one's going to say you're wrong. Well, we'll try not to. Yeah. But it's where so members.exploringintuitivepathways.com, it's now become the haven.
Yes, and people, if you're new to it, and it's the exploringintuitivepathway.com where you can find all the information about the haven.
We've got an echo.
Yes.
Little Sir Echo, if you've got the echo, it's so that if you don't hear it the first time, 2 seconds later, you've got a chance to catch up with it. All right? So the membership site is no longer a membership site, now it's a haven. So it's not just a place where individually you can go and do what you want to do. You're starting, if I understand you correctly, you're going to start to offer get-togethers, which aren't Facebook Lives. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That we would do it in a little slightly differently, and that we would offer get-togethers on each of the different pathways. And again, it might be get-together to talk about one of the courses on the pathway. It might be one line from one course on one pathway. It might be, is it the pathway for me? Like you were saying earlier about you never know what John's going to talk about, like to see where it leads us and what's possible within it, but to start to create get-togethers where people can come together and find like-minded people. So if you want to come and be a part of the community, it's there for you as an option.
What do they get? What are you going to bribe them with?
They get to speak freely, share freely.
Nobody tell them what to do.
They can eat what they want, wear what they want, believe what you want. You can be in any industry you like. It's purely if you have an interest in taking the time out to explore you and your path and your journey, you're welcome. I think that's, and the acceptance.
That's a great vibe. Because
it's freedom.
It is. It's freedom.
Freedom.
But it also gives them the opportunity, I would think, to disagree with each other as well. To be able to share what they feel and not have to agree. So, because one of the things that I think is wrong with the community at large at the moment is we've all got to agree with what somebody thinks is right.
Yeah.
And it's not about right. It's about connection and collaboration. Okay, so you're going to bribe them with freedom.
Yeah.
So when is it all going to start?
Slowly. It's in the process of changing at the moment, but we're looking at the beginning of June to start creating those get-togethers and inviting people in like that. However, it is still there if somebody who's not a member of it, wants to do a free trial. It's there, but we're slowly during this month really starting to put those changes in, and we'd love to hear what people would like. There may be things that we haven't thought of that people who are in the Haven already would like to suggest. So it's happening through this month, piece by piece, but kind of kicking off in June.
Which is why you won't find them on Facebook this month.
Mm.
No.
Because they're having a nervous breakdown putting it all together.
Mildly, put it mildly.
Yeah.
It's working.
Ordering in more wine.
Ordering in more wine. Okay, so now I'm going to put you on the spot, but I'm going to ask the audience to chime in here. What would you like your community, and I want each of you to answer, what would you like your community to be known for above all else? So, for example, JTB community, his catchphrase was where love and learning walk hand in hand. And I think people accept that that's definitely true. But for each of you, what is the one quality or energy you would like to see the Haven being known for? You didn't know I was going to ask this question, did you?
Oh, no.
No.
It would be lovely if it was known as a place where people saw more of who they are, like realize that there's so much more to who they are, and that there's so much possibility and potential far beyond.
Well, hang on. There's three of you got to answer this. You're answering. They've got nothing left to say.
Yeah, Orla. So I'll go now. So
That's all I have to say.
yeah, good. For me, if it were a place where people could come and just be authentically them, like without any fluff and bubble and sparkles and wings, please leave your wings at home. Just whatever is you at any given point, just be authentically you. We're not into any hoo-ha. So that would probably be, because from
However, you've turned that around, because I asked, what do you want them to know you for? What do you want them to know the Haven as a place of?
Authenticity, because believe us, we are not perfect. You have probably watched our journey. And if you can see any sort of perfection or any of us kind of having a clue as we went along, you'd be seeing something that really is not there. So if you're really, authenticity and just...
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Sonia.
Acceptance.
I like that. One word, she said it all.
Yeah, that's efficient.
That is efficient. What about the people that are watching? What would you like to see that the Haven be representative of? Are there any ideas any of you have got about what quality or energy you'd love to see developing, that you may have already started to see developing with what's already been done by the three of them with their Facebook Lives, but or something that you haven't seen yet but you feel sure is on its way? We'll just twiddle the thumbs while we wait for some answers. I think if the three of you are real, you give other people permission to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haresh says open arms with connection and inclusion with open honesty.
Sonia's a little reluctant, but we'll get
The
there.
other way, Helen, it's not for you to do that. Okay, so that's one. Haresh has said open arms. The three of you are real. And I think that's the best gift you can give anyone, is to just authentically, as Anita said, be yourselves. What's not? Well, what's this one say? A place for all to celebrate authenticity, voices, views, sharing, acceptance, and growing wisdom. Here we go. A place where members are supported to truly explore themselves and just be themselves. Celebrates uniqueness. I see your willingness to step forward without hesitation. I'm sorry, Anna, you've got that totally wrong.
I was about to say.
How many times I dragged them kicking and screaming.
Oh, yeah.
One day we'll write the book.
Yeah.
Or we'll make the sitcom, whatever it turns out to be.
But in actual fact, it's true. They are willing to step forward fully. And yes, I think you're right, Anna. It is an example. The three of them are being an example. Because what's going on in our world at the moment, this is what's needed. We need people collectively stand together in light and quietly and lovingly and sometimes fiercely and passionately speak their truth. Because otherwise, where do we go? What do we end up with?
Chaos.
We're all going to be clones of each other, in which case we only need one brain, which we have somewhere in the world, and we'll all log into it like we log into the internet, and we'll all be saying the same thing. So
I think the honesty is so important. Like, I think that's one of the biggest challenges, is to be honest when it's not necessarily what you want to say. I think, but I also have seen from the other side how much of an impact that has. So I think honesty, if we were known for being honest always, that would be where people could be honest. That would be great.
Yeah. And that's getting harder and harder. Like, the way things are out and about, it's harder to be honest with what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and sometimes you don't even know what you're thinking and feeling because you're being bombarded by what to think and how to think. So, having a space where, you can just gather your own energy and explore that, then I think that's...
And share with people. And share with people so you know that it's safe if you might say something that's not politically correct.
Yes.
Or it's safe if you say something that most people think you should say or think.
Yes.
It comes back to that freedom, the kindness and the loving open space to allow that. Sally says compassion towards others and integrity. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like the three of us hold a space for people to explore.
Yeah.
It's like hold a space. It's like we're the people that hold the space for anyone want to explore their spiritual journey, want to just be themselves. That we are just holding the space. So.
And we're excellent at not agreeing and having completely different viewpoints, because if you heard our journey, you would just go, what is going on here? But we are cool with it. We are free.
And we've learned to argue. We're really good at that.
We really learned to argue. That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can agree to disagree, then you've got acceptance.
That could be us.
Well, we know we can argue and it's not the end of the world. I think so many people are afraid to argue because they think it's going to be the end of the world. But the more you argue, the more you realize it's not.
It's fun. You just it ends up fun because you're not going to get clobbered over their head, and you don't have to dwell on it for 6.5 months that you said the wrong word and you're going to get cancelled. There's none of that. It's like, oh no, we don't agree. Woohoo.
I don't think you say we don't agree. Whoa.
No, we don't.
But you have learned, and I think it is important, because there is that fear that if you say the wrong thing, you're going to get cancelled.
Yeah.
And the one thing people joining the Haven will not experience is being cancelled.
No.
And it's definitely a work in progress.
Well, we're going to close in a minute, but before we do, I would like us all to do a short exercise. So I'm going to ask you all to close your eyes And just take 3 deep breaths. Imagine that you are part of a council, a spiritual council. And that your role as part of this spiritual council community of light is to hold the energy of acceptance for the people of the earth. And the only way you can do it is to feel acceptance within. So as you breathe, imagine that that quality, that energy, fills not just your physical self, but your aura. And as you sit in it and you are absorbed within it, be aware that you're now radiating that every second of every day without having to think about it and without having to do it. As members of this spiritual council, this community of light, if you set the intent to radiate acceptance for all into your world, it will happen until you choose to stop. It's not about outcomes. It's not about how many people you reach. It's about radiating as you go about your day to day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you to everybody for joining us. Thank you to Anita, Orla and Sonia for taking the membership site and creating a haven where people can come. We'll keep you posted if they get it right.
Good luck.
Sky challenge.
All right. Thank you for joining us. And please keep this discussion going throughout this month. It would be really good if people could carry on talking about this community of light and John's talk on Phoenix Rising for the rest of the month, so we can continue to share ideas, not just about the haven, as important as that is, but about who we all are and how, as our community, the JTB community, we can also step forward and share with people. So have a great time. Talk to you later. Bye for now.